Hello there again, guys. This is Jimmy Williams, yours truly. A lot of you guys know me from my several different social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and soon to come, we're going to be doing a campaign with LinkedIn. And you guys have been with me for a while, and I want you to take your time today, slow down, take a few minutes, maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and you're going to really want to hear what I have to say. And I have a very special guest, not what I have to say, but what my special guest has to say today. She's a powerful accountant out of the Cleveland, Ohio area. Now, yesterday we had another special guest. She was a life coach, and she was teaching us about, mindset, mentality, what it takes to become a millionaire. It's not really the deal, you mastering the deal or mastering the property or mastering buying the business. It's mastering yourself, self-mastery. Well, today, what we want to talk about, what we want to cover today, and she knows all about it, is what's the benefits of having an LLC versus a corporation, or actually just having a business. How does that set you up financially when it comes to your taxes, as opposed to you just, filing taxes with your social security number as a regular employee? She's going to teach us several things today. She's going to show us, what's out there for small business owners. There's money floating around out there that the government doesn't necessarily tell you about. And there's certain tax laws and tax breaks that you can get being an entrepreneur, that you couldn't get otherwise. I'll give you an example. Jeff Bezos, he's known to be, quote unquote, nearly the first trillionaire, the guy who started Amazon.com years ago. And by the way, he was going to file for bankruptcy, and it was going to go out of business. And he's worth almost $1 trillion. And guess what? He paid $0 in taxes last year. And so when I saw that, I'm thinking, wait a minute now, if he can do that, there's certain tax laws, there's certain tax breaks that are out there. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can pay a lot of money back. Well, my guest today, again, she's out of Cleveland, Ohio. I happened to run across her on a Facebook Live. I have an accountant here in Atlanta, Georgia, and he wasn't very personable. So at the last minute, I told him, you know what, sir, I found someone else that's going to do my taxes. She's in Cleveland, Ohio, but this is the person that I want to use. All right. And if you look at her title, she's an accountant and a tax strategist for real estate professionals in all 50 states. She's also in the cannabis business. I'm gonna go over that in a moment. I'm gonna read her resume. And bottom line is, she helped my wife and I, because we had some back taxes. She helped us save over $17,000 in our taxes. We made about $75,000 last year, and then we made about another 50-something thousand the year before that. But we would have owed $12,000 this year, and then like $5,000 a year before. And she came back, she said, Jimmy, I worked the numbers and I wanted to save you guys some money. And I tell all of you, when you are actually saving money, it's like making money, because you get to keep that money in your pocket. You don't want to make $100,000 and have to give back $30,000 or $40,000 of that money. That makes no business sense whatsoever. And so she's a genius at it. She's brilliant. And I'm going to read a little bit about her story, her testimony really quick. And I'm going to talk a little bit about her business, and then we'll let her come on. Again, her name is Leanna Miller, and she's the owner of Millennial Tax Advisors. It's a tax firm that specializes it specializes in helping individuals and businesses save on average $10,000 a year. Let me say that again. They help businesses save on average $10K a year. So if you're not trying to save that kind of money, guys, like I told you, I don't know what to tell you. Let me read a little bit more here. Additionally, she is the managing partner at Blunt CFO. I'm not sure if I said that right. Is that right? Blunt CFO?
That's right.
Blunt CFO, okay. It's a cannabis-focused accounting firm that offers advisory CFO services to cannabis dispensaries and CBD brands. Liana obtained her BA in finance from Baldwin Wallace University. She's a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. Mother of one, a serious entrepreneur. And I might add, she's very passionate about helping people. I always tell you guys, attitude determines the altitude. And if she's not a millionaire already, she's well on her way. And she's had to overcome lots of adversity. It comes across when you talk to her on the phone. She's very relatable. She'll help you if you decide to go with her today. In fact, if we get at least 10 people to go with her today, I'm going to give you guys a free gift. I have several different books and ebooks. But she gives you really good deals, and when she helps you with your taxes, and she'll even set you up with a payment plan if necessary. Now we're in a business, so there's no handouts here, but she will work with you if need be, because again, everyone has to get paid. But if we have 10 people that contact her and go with her services, I'm going to give you a free gift. Before I gave out, free vacations. I gave out like 5,000 last year, but because of the market right now, free vacations, nobody cares about them because they're not traveling, and there's travel bans anyway. So without further ado, I want to invite my really good friend, and she's an amazing professional, Leanna Miller. Leanna, take it away. You can just share your story or share what you want to share with us and get right into business. Go ahead.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. I feel like I'm on top of the world with that introduction.
Good.
That was really sweet of you. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time to invite me into your group to be able to just drop some pearls of wisdom on everyone, just to be able to give you some much needed information that's not always readily available. So I am going to be available to this group to answer any questions that you all have. So Jimmy will have my contact information, and I'll definitely be able to help you guys in any situation that you have. So a little bit about me. Jimmy really hit all the major points. I have my degree in finance from Baldwin Wallace University, which is here in the greater Cleveland area, small private liberal arts school. I am really passionate about helping people understand taxes, because it's one of those things that nobody taught us about. They don't teach in school, and everyone is afraid of the big bad IRS.
Right.
So I really like to take my time and break it down to the level of where the person is, because it's really not all that complicated. It's just, like anybody else, most people fear what they don't know or understand. So that's what I do. I also work as a cannabis accountant, and the cannabis industry is booming, but it also has a lot of red tape and regulation, and technically cannabis is still federally illegal. So an accountant in that space, there's a lot of nuances, and so I help whether they're growers or dispensaries, or maybe they just own a CBD brand. I help them, avoid IRS audits. So I'm versed in that, and just really, going through all of those things. So I do a lot, and, but the biggest thing is I always want to be able to help make very complicated things very simple.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. The first question I want to ask you, what would you say to them that are out there? Again, we have a ton of newbies. What would you say to them that they're just doing a little business here and there, and they're doing business under their name? Would you advise them, and what would be your advice as far as them going forward with a corporation, and what are some of the tax benefits of doing that? Because that's been a big question for me. Jimmy, I'm not sure if I should do this. I only made like 5 or 10 grand. Should I get a corporation or LLC, and then how's that going to help me?
Okay, so that's a really good question. I would say there is no such thing as I do a little business. And we have to get out of that mindset. It's not I do a little business. If you do business, you do business, right?
Right. Okay.
I don't care if you make $100 or $1 million. At the end of the day, the laws are the same. The regulation is the same. The responsibilities are the same. The stress is the same. I don't care if you make a little or a lot of money. If you stress, you stress.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I tell people there's no such thing as I do a little business. And what that means is, regardless if you make $10 or $1 million, you need to be set up properly. And we really are seeing this with like this Roof Chris situation. They announced yesterday that Roof Chris got $20 million worth of the money for coronavirus, the PPP money. They got $20 million.
Really?
And now, they got 20 million. Roof Chris.
Wow.
And they got it 4 days after the application opened. Like 4 days after it opened, they got the money. Right?
Okay.
4 days. Because they were prepared. So my thing is, being prepared from the beginning, whether you're big or small, makes a difference. So I would say if you are doing even the smallest amount of business, you need to have an LLC. You don't need the complicated, no S corps, no C corps. Just having an LLC is the key to get you started. It'll give you enough protection, you know, so it's a limited liability company or corporation, but it's, you know, still attached to you personally. And what that's going to allow you to have is a little bit of liability. So if someone sues you, they'll be able to sue the company. It's not completely separate, but it does give you some protection. It is going to give you some benefits in your personal tax life, because when you have an LLC, it's what's called a pass-through or disregarded entity. So for tax purposes, the business and you are the same for tax purposes. So when you go to file your taxes, what's going to happen is you'll have your regular 1040, your W-2s, your 1099s, all of that. But what will happen is that you'll be able to take your LLC and add that to your taxes and take all the deductions for all the money you spent, and that's going to give you a tax benefit. You're going to get tax breaks there. So what I always tell people is that real estate investors, people who are in the real estate industry, they get a double bonus, because what most people don't realize is that the tax code was written to benefit people who own land and own businesses. So when you're in the real estate business, you hit both of the reasons why it was created.
Okay, stop right there. Now you said a lot. You just like firing all cylinders. I mean, and I want to hit on so many things. Now let's start with that first. So you're telling me there were laws written, entrepreneurs, especially in my group, for people that own property and land to help them to help benefit them, to structure them to win, actually, pretty much financially when it comes to taxes. Is that right?
Yes, that's why the tax code was created. That's why taxes were created.
Oh, wow.
For those two groups of people.
Okay, so students, y'all need to write. Let me get my little notepad here, because you're like mentoring me today, even though I don't know nothing about taxes. I got somebody that does. I'm gonna write that down. No, I'm gonna take a note of that right now, because I did not know that. And so guys, write that down. Okay, she's saying the structure of this system was created to benefit them that own land and own property. So home ownership and land ownership is critical. Now let's back up a little bit. You said there was one company that was structured properly, and they got $20 million when this whole coronavirus thing hit. You said the name of the company, but are you able to elaborate a little bit more about who they are? Because I heard the name, but I wasn't too familiar.
So Roof Chris Steakhouse is, I would say, let's say similar to Houston's.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Right? So a high-end steakhouse. I'm pretty sure they're owned by somebody else, but they had all their paperwork together. They were prepared. It's like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. $20 million. I mean, that's like
$20 million.
So basically, that's going to get them through this issue until things get back to normal, right? This extra money.
It better.
Right. Exactly. Wow.
So yeah, but because they were prepared, so a lot of times when we go to start our businesses, we want to take shortcuts, or we want to say, oh, I'm gonna do that down the line. It's like, no, have the basic things in place. Have your have the LLC established. Have a business bank account. Right?
Right, exactly.
So for all of these PPP loans, you couldn't get a loan. You couldn't even apply for a loan if you didn't have a business bank account before February 16th or February 15th.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right. So if you don't have a business bank account, you can do that now.
Okay.
So things like, LLC, business bank account, get your EIN from the IRS, because you'll need that for everything.
Right.
Having a DUNS number. So you start to, right. Like those are like the biggest things. If you have those things and you file your taxes, then there's not too many things that are going to roll out that you're not prepared to go and apply for.
Really? Wow. I'm so glad
those are the standards.
I'm glad we contacted you when we did. And I'm not afraid to say this, but my wife and I, because of our situation, we were moving around and doing things. We had back tax. We didn't file. You know, we didn't file for a few years because we were trying to structure our business a certain way. And she was able to get on that right away and make sure certain taxes were filed in time for us to get the stimulus check. So we are scheduled. My wife and I. She has a corporation. I have one. We're both going to get the stimulus check. And according to what Leanna was saying, I'll let her explain it. You have to have at least 2018 filed to qualify for that check and to be put in the system. And for what I'm understanding, it's over 170 million people that are going to get it. Now, my wife's brother, you know, he got his stimulus check. He's a DJ. And it was pretty interesting. He said, man, I got mine deposited. And I guess the second wave is coming. But would you tell them a little bit about the stimulus check and who actually can qualify for it? Because everybody can't get that check. Am I right about that? Okay.
Right. That's correct. So on March 27th, the president signed the American CARES Act, and it's $1 trillion deal. It's historic. Nothing this big has ever happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In that was a set aside for stimulus money for Americans. Now, it was supposed to be all Americans, but it's not. It's most, but not all. So what the guidelines are saying is that any adult who has filed their 2018 or 2019 taxes will receive $1,200 one time for right now. And then, but your income cannot be above $75,000 if you're a single unmarried person. You'll get $1,200. If you are married and you all file jointly, you are eligible for $2,400. As long as you make under $150,000. Is the guideline there. Now, if you make over that amount, you can still get money. It's just going to be less. So anyone who makes anywhere from $76,000 to $99,000 and they're single, they'll still get money. It just won't be the full $1,200. And the same for the married couples. Anyone who's over the 150, I think it goes all the way up to 200,000. You can make that much money, but you just won't get the full 2,400. And what people have to understand is that is adjusted gross. So even if you are a high income earner, there is a very good chance that you will still get a stimulus check because they're not going on what you gross. They're going on the adjusted gross. So that's after all the deductions, all the tax credits, everything that you're eligible for. That's after all of that. So you may make $300,000 and be married, but you guys, after they take all your deductions, your tax professional, you might make $130,000, and at that point, you're going to get some money.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Wow. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't forget about the kids. So if you have dependents who are under the age, they're 17 and under, you'll get $500 per kid that you claim on your taxes. But you can only do up to 3 kids. So for instance, if it's a family that has 5 children under the age of 17, they're only going to get credit for 3 of them. And, yeah.
That's still pretty good though. That's pretty, you still can't beat that. That's money they're giving. And it's not, again, it's not a lot of money, but it's money. And I always teach my people, invest your money. You know, if you get $500, you know, you get your LLC and get yourself a real legit, buy yourself, get a website, you know, become legit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Get yourself a, what do you call that? You know, a virtual office where you're paying $75 a month or whatever. Get yourself established. And those are some of the basic things. Don't go to, you know, don't go to Amazon and buy it, you know, go buy it, you know, the Michael Jordan, all these high price shoes. You can't. That's not helping. That's not helping you grow, right? Would you agree with that?
You stuck in the house. Nobody can see you. You don't need to be cute. Okay.
I love what you said there. I want to reiterate something too. That was powerful. Wow. And this is a lot of information. And guys, I hope you're taking notes because again, you know, it's hard sometimes. Some tax professionals, some CPAs, they don't talk to nobody but the people who pay them. You know what I mean? And they don't get on public forums because believe it or not, sometimes the powers that be don't want you knowing everything. Because if you go and get the LLC, They want to keep it a secret. But to reiterate, owning property and land is the way to go. So here's what I tell all my newbies. Get your credit fixed. If you have to go and put your own down payment together and all that, so you don't be relying on some other investor, buy some property, own that property, and then, the taxes are going to work into your advantage. Now, two things I want to say. The first thing is, something else that I do is I buy other businesses. So you said something very important. They're going to look at the gross, not the gross, the actual net income. So some businesses can do $500,000 a year, but once everyone's paid, you pay the light bill, the mortgage on the building, you pay the employees, you might clear, $74,000 or something like that. You're saying even with a $500,000 gross year business, if it shows on the books it's under 75, I can still get the stimulus check. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Exactly what that means.
Now, I have another big question for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I do teach a lot on multifamily property because right now banks are they're not allowing a lot of, regular investors to buy a lot of single family homes. They're not putting up a lot of money simply because now their biggest fear is if that investor wants to rent it out when times are tough, what is the consistency of the people that live there? So the banks are saying, okay, we're going to back off of that a little bit. But what we will do is people that buy multifamily property, 4 units up to 1,000 units, a property that has 1,000 units. I always tell my students this: if everybody's paying $1,000 a month, that's $100,000 a month cash flow. That's a $1.2 million business, and that whole system has been it's been on the rise as of late because the banks look at that and go, if we have 15 or 20 people that leave, if 20 people leave, you still got $80,000 of cash flow coming in. It's easier for me to finance that because I know I'm going to get my money back. What are the tax benefits? What are the tax benefits of owning a multifamily property? At the end of the year when you pay taxes on that?
Ooh, there's a lot. Okay.
Really? Okay.
So I would say, like you were saying, one thing I think people in the real estate industry, especially people who hold properties, are learning right now that it is important to be diversified.
Okay. Gotcha.
And how between private pay and, things like Section 8, all the Section 8 landlords are sitting back with their feet up right now.
Okay.
All the landlords who only take private money, they're like, whoa, what's going on? So
oh, really?
tell people,
Wow.
Be diversified in how your money comes in. But specifically for people who are renting properties, it's really important that when your taxes are done, so there's two things with taxes. So you can take a whole bunch of deductions and that can help you out. But there's also this thing called depreciation.
Gotcha.
And when you have a property that you're holding and is generating rental income, the depreciation on that property is going to get you your best bang for your buck because you'll be able to write off the repair. One thing about rental properties is that they need more love because there's people living in them, using them every day, breaking things. It just wear and tear.
I understand.
So you're going to have way more deductions to write off on those properties. So all the repairs that you do, all of your property management fees, if somebody, you have somebody managing the property for you, can write that off.
Okay.
The biggest thing is going to be the depreciation on those properties. So for those of you who don't know, what depreciation means is, I'll use the example of a car because that's something you can all relate to.
Okay.
So say you want a Tesla.
Okay.
Let's say you want a Tesla, right? Your Tesla costs you $100,000.
Okay.
When it's sitting at Tesla, it's $100,000. As soon as you drive it off the lot, that $100,000 that it's worth starts to depreciate.
Yeah.
So your Tesla that was $100,000 today, 5 years from now, might be worth $75,000.
Yeah.
You have a car and it's depreciating. You're not getting any benefit from it. But when you have real estate and you depreciate a property, you get money for that. So say you have a property, it's worth $100,000 and your tax preparer knows what they're doing, so they put it on your books. You're going to be able to depreciate that over the useful life of a house. So it might be 7 years, it might be 27 years. It's something that's set by the federal government. So if the house depreciates over a 27-year period, every single year when you do your taxes, they're going to give you a little bit of credit in cash for that house.
Stop
so
right
when
there.
you hold property,
I want you to stop right there.
okay.
No, the reason I want you to stop is because a lot of people, including myself, I understood it a little bit, but you kind of opened my eyes to something. And this is a big secret, because we've always been told, okay, you get that property, let's say the market crashed, the value is gone, you're going to be out of money. What you're saying is there are certain laws when you write the taxes where you're not going to lose. There's a way that they're going to offset the depreciation of the so if I buy a property for $1 million and in 5 years the value is down to 800,000, there's a way for me to make up that gap, and I'm not really going to lose. Is that right? There's taxes.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
It's gonna lessen the loss, right? Yep.
Okay.
Over the useful life of that house, whatever the guidance says the useful life of that house is, or that property. It could be a printer. It could be your phone.
Okay.
Like literally, it could be anything that you own in your business.
Yeah.
Over time, you're gonna get some credit for it. So you may still be at a loss if it's like $1 million property. However, there are ways to kind of bridge that gap, so you're not at a complete loss, and you can take it over time. And some things, which is a tax strategy, sometimes, say for instance, if we have a client who's going to owe a lot of money, and we need to accelerate the depreciation, you can do that too.
Really?
So, say you got a property that is, that we're still on this $1 million house.
Yeah.
So let's make it $100,000 house.
Okay.
And house depreciates over 27 years. If your tax professional is paying attention, or they know the strategy, because different strategies make sense for different situations, they may say, you know what, Jimmy, let's take 100% of the depreciation right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
okay, wow.
And it'll cut it all in 1 year. Whatever it's worth, whatever the calculation is, it'll give you 100%. That 27-year depreciation that you would have to wait for, you could take it all in 1 year in some instances, depending on the value and what type of property it is and all that stuff. You could take it all in 1 year, and it could take a tax bill that was $50,000 down to $20,000 just like that, because the strategy was I mean, it can have a huge impact. So there's but it just depends on the strategy. So I always say tax planning is so important, because when you come to me at the end of the year, it's hard for me to go and strategize, because you already made all the decisions. So
so
I always recommend for people, if you have somebody who does tax planning, like for us, we do tax planning with quarterly reviews. So when we meet with our clients, they're like, hey, I want to go buy a property. I want to go do this. And we're like, okay, well, this is what we need to make happen, so that, we're ahead of the bill, where we can take advantage of the situation. So a lot of this is just planning.
Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just letting you know right now, me and Arlene, me and the Queen, we're going to sit down at your table, because one of the things we've been looking at, we've been looking at portfolios. Now, the sad thing, not sad, one of the disadvantages of portfolios with me in the financial side of things, if you buy a portfolio and properties in different states, what tends to happen, let's say I have 100 properties, 50 of them are in Baltimore, 25 of them are in Cleveland, and the other 25 are in Florida. Well, there's certain ways to get them financed, and certain financial companies will say, okay, I'll do Cleveland, I'll do Baltimore, but you know what? I'm not going to finance Florida. And so that's not a good deal for me. So what we're trying to do is, we're looking at some portfolios now in certain states, but we want them all in the same area. But even with that, the good thing is you're able to help us no matter what state we buy in. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Because because taxes the whole what is this called?
The whole country. Okay. So now that I know that, so real estate investors, entrepreneurs, some of you guys are well schooled at this. You already know this. And because a lot of realtors, believe it or not, they're buying properties undercover, just like an investor, to hold on to it. But but the portfolio business now, it's people are backing up from it unless they can get everything in one place. But what I want to do is, we're looking at properties now in places like, let's say Baltimore. Some of these properties are 15 and 20 grand, because they need a lot of work, and they're just these empty buildings. And we're looking at maybe revitalizing those communities. So I know where to go now. I'm going to go to you. And so what you're saying is, so you've been saying throughout the year, we need to kind of talk to you and let you know before we buy. Let's say I want to buy a multifamily property
Right.
in Florida, you want to talk to me about that property and let me know before I actually buy it so we can strategize. All
Right.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
We want to strategize and make sure that we've got it, we've got it all under control, because
Okay.
it's like, you want to know, you just want to be
Mm-hmm.
in the know. If you're going to owe 20,000, I want to know I'm going to owe 20,000 right
Ahead
now.
of
I don't
time.
want to know
Exactly.
in January.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And the way you helped me and my wife, I mean, it was very strategic. I mean, it was like a bombshell when you told me, man, you guys could possibly owe 17 grand. I'm thinking, wow, we didn't, because when you make your money, you want to be able to keep as much of it as you can.
Absolutely.
And you, again, guys, 17 grand. Now, all I have to pay is like $300 something for my, and I'm telling that because some people don't believe this stuff. And I'm telling you, this is the woman that did it from 17K all the way down to $300. She made the $5,000 that we owe from last year. If she made that go away, she found a way to build it into the system legally to get this done. I mean, Liana is did I say that right? Liana is the real deal. Liana's the real deal. There was something else I wanted to ask you about real estate because, again, I don't talk that much about real estate, but because now that you gave me that information that everything's structured for real people who own property and people who own the land, I want to get everything out of you as I can because I know I only have you for a few more minutes. Okay.
So I've got
right.
I've got a big one for you.
Sure.
Though.
Okay.
So one of the biggest, and I have an ebook on this.
Okay.
It's a quick ebook.
Okay.
And there's a thing that's called 1030 exchanges or like kind exchanges in real estate.
Okay.
And so for people who are buying and holding, or well, not necessarily buying and holding, but the people who fix and flip more so.
Okay.
There is this tax strategy because nobody wants to pay taxes. So say you have a property that we're going to go with 100,000 again. Okay. You got $100,000 property and you're going to sell it for 200,000.
Okay.
Right. Just for even numbers. If you know that you're going to sell that property and then you're looking and you know that right after that, you're going to go look for something else. If you can identify the other property that you're going to pick up after you sell that first one, you can do what's called a like kind exchange or a 1031 exchange. Really? And what that will allow you to do is when you sell that, it basically lets you sell the old property and replace it with a similar or like kind of property and not have to pay the capital gains tax on that $100,000, whatever the tax is going to be on the 100,000 profit that you made. But it has to be a part of the original plan. It can't be something you do after the fact. It has to be a part of the actual real estate deal from the very beginning. So that's why I say it's important to talk to your tax professional on a regular basis so that they can tell you like, okay, you got this property. This is what is going to qualify the new one. So only look at properties that fit into this category.
I can tell you right now, we got people in the group that will be highly interested in that. And my wife and I are going to do that. We're going to seek your counsel on that ASAP. Now, let me ask you this, because I want to put a link to that ebook so they can have access to. How much is the ebook?
Yes. So it's typically $10, but I think I'm going to do it for the people in this group half off for just $5. Just so you can get the information. It's got the 4 common mistakes that people make when they do 1031 exchanges. And it's theirs for $5. So I don't know what's the easiest way for me to get it to them.
Well, what you can do is if you have a link, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you this video so you can have it to put on your platforms too. But when I post it on Facebook and all my platforms, I'm gonna get that link from you, and underneath it, I'm gonna do something one better. So if they buy your ebook, I'm going to send them a free video. I don't know what kind of video it is yet, but something real estate related, how to fix and flip property or how to do double closing or something. But guys, listen, we want at least 50 of you to get this because I'm telling you right now, that's strategic. That's strategic. And it's all in the book. You can have it at your disposal because realtors, some of them don't, because realtors are a little more school. They understand how to wholesale. They won't talk about it. But I got newbies in my group. Nobody really wants to help them. Last year I did coaching. I coached for 6 months for free, and it wore me out because, I got up to like 500 students, and my voice, I kept getting hoarse, so I had to start charging. And people thought, well, why are you charging? Well, I have to charge for my time. Doesn't mean I don't love you guys, but I need people who are serious. But you're getting a mentorship coaching thing, right? you know, you're getting some mysteries and some secrets that the government
Absolutely.
come out there and tell you. Most tax people won't tell you. Most real estate investors keep it to themselves. So please, so when you get that link, when we're done here, I'm going to post it, and so they can click on it and buy it. Okay. All right.
All right.
What else I wanted to tell you? Because I know, yeah. One last, okay, two things. I want you to tell me a little bit more about the cannabis focused accounting firm. Just tell me a little bit more about that, because we got certain people in certain states. I think that they may want to talk to you. But before you do that, tell us what's available. You know, what kind of what money is out there for entrepreneurs right now, other than the stimulus check. If you have an LLC, you have a business. Is there anything else that we can have access to?
So I'm putting together a list of this, and when it's ready, I will share it with you, so you can share it with your group, because and I'm going to keep it so that it can continuously be updated, because everything's changing every day. So yesterday we found out that all the federal money is gone for now.
Wow. Okay.
So the PPP applications have officially been closed. You cannot apply anymore. There's no more money for that.
Okay.
And so now my advice is to look to your state and local governments. So there's, like, I know in Ohio, our like the governor has given some money to small businesses. The different small business development centers have programs. The Urban League has programs.
Urban League.
They're all starting to collaborate to be able to provide additional sources of money. So like the city of Cleveland, they have launched an application for working capital. And the repayment is great. It's like $150 a month until the loan is repaid.
Really?
And payments don't start for 6 months. So that's what we have here. But I know there's things like that in other states. I would literally just do a Google search of COVID-19 loans and then put whatever state that you live in, or whatever city or your county. Hit those 3 levels and you're going to find something. I know there's some big companies like Facebook has launched a fund.
I heard about
Visa
that.
Foundation has, who else? Visa Foundation has launched something. I'm missing something. I know Stella Artois, they did something for people in the restaurant industry. There is one that, I just saw today. I don't know if I bookmarked it, but I'll see if I can find it in text. Oh, yes, I just found it. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation is
write that
doing
down. U.S. Chamber of
grants.
Commerce.
So this is
so that's nationwide. Then anybody in the country can apply for, can look into.
Yep.
Okay, U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
This is nationwide, and it's a grant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's free money. The application opens up on April the 20th at 12 o'clock.
Really?
And all you have to do is employ either 3 to 20 people. So I'm sure that they're, if anyone has employees or contractors, they just have to, that's it. They have to live in an area that's been economically vulnerable to COVID-19, which is pretty much everybody.
Right. Okay.
And then they have to have, their business obviously has to be hurt or harmed because of COVID-19. So that's going to be everybody. And all they're having people do is fill out, like, it's a very, very simple form. All they want is a W-9.
Really?
That's it.
We are on it. So did y'all hear that?
Right.
USA Chamber of Commerce, 3 employees. Do they just Google it and it comes up and it's not ready yet? Okay. And it's gonna be what's the first day? April what?
April 20th at 12 p.m. So like Ruth Chris, you need to be at the front of the line. It's $5,000 grant.
What? 12 p.m.
Yes.
Arlene and I'm gonna have my queen on it. I'm gonna have her on it. And
tell her to just go online and Google a W-9 form. They have ones where you can just fill it in or right on the internet.
Okay.
Tell her to, fill it in, save it to the computer, and at 12:01, be on the website ready to send it. Like, that's what we need to learn from Ruth Chris. Like, we know the paperwork we need. We got it. Everything else they're going to ask you is stuff that you'll probably already know about your business, like EIN, legal name, things of that nature.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow. I really appreciate you doing that. One last thing, this whole thing with unemployment, because there's been a lot of confusion with it. people like myself and my wife, we have a corporation. You know, our LLC, JW Acquisitions and Development Group. She has your design. Is there any? Is that based on our state? Can we apply for unemployment, or can the people watching, if they have businesses, can they apply for unemployment, or do they have to be, non-business owners to apply for unemployment in their state?
Okay, good question. So a
Mm-hmm.
part of the CARES Act, what
Mm-hmm.
they did is they expanded unemployment to reach people who are self-employed.
Okay.
What is it? Freelancers, independent
Okay.
contractors.
Okay.
All the people who typically are not eligible because we run our own businesses, or we aren't on a W-2, you are now eligible. The only caveat is that a lot of the states are not ready to accept the applications.
Okay.
So you're going to have to stay up to date with your state and where they are on their unemployment application. So Ohio is going to be until mid-May.
Okay. And we have a friend that we knew in New York. They said that a friend of ours in New York said it was going to be May, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so I haven't heard anything here either. Okay.
If you apply through the regular application, it's going to deny you. So I'm telling people, be patient, pay attention.
Really?
When it's ready, you need to be at the front of the line. Like we said, being prepared, have your paperwork together, and at the front of the line as soon as it opens.
Wow. Well, you know what? I've asked you enough. I mean, you've really overloaded. I mean, again, this is recorded. So students, investors, even colleagues, people that mentor me and some of the people I mentor, you want to go back and get this information. This is very valuable because we're at a time now where you need to get every single dime that you can because, Trump he says he wants to restart the economy, but they're saying the numbers with the COVID-19 says otherwise. So either way, either way, we still need to be prepared. We can't sit there and wait for a dollar to just come in. You got to find ways to try and even start. When you get your stimulus check, you may need to start an online business or something. But don't wait 6 to 8 months possibly to say, I'm going to sit around here and wait. You'll starve doing that. Would you say this is an opportune time to try something else right now, Leanna? Online?
Oh, there's no better time. There will never be a better time.
Really?
If this has not taught you that you need to have another bag somewhere that pays you, because those jobs, they didn't think twice about letting these people go. There are a total of 22 million people have filed for unemployment.
22 million? Wow.
22 million. It was like 5 million and like 6 million in the last week, but the total since this has started is 22 million. And when the economy opens up, there are not going to be 22 million jobs. And I was reading a report yesterday. The report that I was reading yesterday said that all of the gains that had happened from like the last recession, all of the jobs that had been grown over time. They said there's probably like 500,000 of those. We're like, if we lose 500,000 more jobs for like unemployment, we'll have erased every single job that was created from the last recession. This is serious.
Really? And the last recession was what?
This is serious.
Right before Obama came in office, right? 2007, 2008.
Exactly.
And he came in and began to help revitalize that, and then this whole thing with up to where we are today.
And it's gone now.
All of that work is gone.
If 500,000 more people apply, all of that gain has been lost. So, I don't care what it is you do, what it is you're interested in. There is a way to make money, and people are spending money. They got their tax return. People are making more unemployment than they may make it their jobs because the rate is so much higher now. You can get up to $600 a week.
Okay.
And then if you already were on unemployment, you can get $600 on top of what you already would have got. So.
Okay. Y'all hear that? Wow. Wow. Well,
people are buying things. So
you inspired me. Listen, you got me fired up. You got my team fired up today. I'm telling you. So don't expect if you get some calls and some emails, okay? You are awesome. I really appreciate you. I'm not going to hold you any longer. I think you've said enough. I just want to recap. So she has an ebook, okay? And when you send me the link, we're gonna put that out there, and that ebook is going to share with you a very detailed secret. Not really a secret, but just something a lot of investors are not talking about. And it's only going to be $5. And if you guys get that ebook, I'm going to match it. I'm going to give you, I got quite a few videos that you have not seen where I talk about different methods of real estate. But do that. And more importantly, you need to contact her if you haven't gotten your taxes done yet. if you need, and again, if you need more advice on once you become a client on how you can save those taxes, because remember, she saves on average $10,000 per client per year. That's a pretty high number. All right. Here's one last question for you before we go. I heard the deadline was extended because some people are like, man, I'm not ready. Is there an extension to file your taxes or no?
Yes, the new deadline is July the 15th. So we've got about a little less than 90 days.
Okay.
In order for you to file your taxes.
Okay.
That includes anybody who owes money.
Mm-hmm.
All of it has been extended. So you're not going to get a late pay. You're not going to get any penalties for not having filed by April 15th. Mm-hmm. Everything is moved back.
Okay.
So,
okay. Here's a big question though. What kind of promotion or special would you have for people that contact you, let's say today's Friday, by let's give them like 7 days. What can you do for them? I mean, I'm not telling you to give them any freebies. I'm not saying that, but is there any kind of promotion you'll have for them if they contact you and want to get started with you?
Oh, absolutely. We could definitely do something.
Okay.
We'll do.
I'll put you on the spot.
Because Jimmy, you're my guy. You know what I'll do? I'll do 50% off for all of them.
Oh, wow.
That's
really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
guys.
what I'll do.
All right. Did y'all hear that? 50% off. And trust me, listen, she's good. So she's not cheap. I'm going to be honest with you. She's good. She worked miracles. Again, $17,000 discount for me and my wife. So 50%, y'all heard it. Now you go out there, you go find somebody else that's going to give you 50% off. And I mean, that's just not going to happen. So thank you for being a part of our team. You are our tax genius. You are our tax mogul going forward. Okay. And what I want you to do, if you can, if you have a professional phone number, because some people don't like to be contacted on their cell number. I understand that. Do you have an 800 number, or if you want to give out another number, could you give us that number right now? I'm going to put it in this. I'm going to put it there when I put all of your other contact information. But is there a certain number they can contact your company?
You know what? I'm in the middle of changing my business line. So they can, the easiest way, like if they send me an email, that's really like, because then my team can see it and we can get to everything faster. So the email is simply millennialtaxadvisors@gmail.com.
Okay.
If they contact us there, they'll get a response very quickly.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? Please.
And then I'll drop the business line as soon as we figure out what the new number is going to be.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. You guys heard it. Millennial Taxes Advisor. Millennial Tax Advisors.
Millennialtaxadvisors@gmail.com. And then they'll just need to let us know that they're a part of your group, and then we'll know where to put them.
Okay, awesome. And if you guys do that, then you can circle back once you get the response back. Circle back to me and say, hey, Jimmy, I did that, and I'm going to send you your free ebook, or I'll do a free one-on-one coaching. Although, guys, I haven't been doing a lot of coaching because I'm working on, projects in Africa. Many of you saw that we're now we're opening up where you can buy a home, a pre-construction home in certain parts of. I'm talking the good Africa that you don't see on television. The nice homes. No, seriously, the pre-construction homes for $50,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and and they dig the wells there. Okay, I'm talking nice areas like Gambia. You know what I mean? Downtown Kenya and all the major cities. Okay, they dig the water for you. Pre-construction properties. You don't pay no property taxes. All you do is your own electric for $50,000 cash. This is not any payments. And what we do is me and my partner, we fly you over there. So you can actually, you could actually look at the property and look at the closing and all that. So I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the coaching that I used to do. However, I felt like when it comes to money, our people, especially African-American people, we need to be more educated on how to save money. I have a lot of white followers too, my white brothers and sisters. No disrespect to you guys. We're all a team here, but education is key, okay? The Bible says we are in trouble because we perish because we have a lack of knowledge. And this woman has came on today and gave all of herself. I really appreciate you doing that, sister. And hopefully we can have you back again, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Okay. I always say this little slogan, okay? I'll see you at the top, okay?
I know that's right.
You take care, all right?
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.